And we're live. Welcome to this chat, as always, your source of hot business news and even hotter takes. This week, we've got some crazy stuff. There's another fraud and scandal from Forbes 30 under 30. At this point, it's basically a pattern. TikTok Shop is on track to outsell Target, Costco, and Best Buy combined. Oracle fired 30,000 people with an email sent at 6 a.m. Anthropic claims to have built AI so dangerous they refused to release it, but then they quietly handed it over to Google, Apple, and a bunch of other companies. And SpaceX just filed for the biggest IPO in history of any IPO. And a bunch of stuff. So, I'm here as always with Joe.
What's up?
Who is tired after fighting?
No, it's not. I've got a very fucked eye infection. So if I look a bit like, if one of my eyes are red and I look a bit lethargic, that's why. So I'll probably have even less filter than I normally do. So let's see if we can get us annoyed a bit and you can drop some classic one-liners. But other than that, I'm basically just here for eye candy this week.
So yeah, shall we start? Well, I want to start with the Forbes case because
yeah, I don't know much about this one, so you're going to have to
a bit crazy.
Explain it for
so
me.
Many of those cases. So basically, a guy called a name I can't fucking pronounce.
Great start.
I'm just gonna call him Gigi because both his name starts with G.
We should list all the scams.
Something I don't know. After start there, and a Forbes 30 under 30 honoree was indicted on security fraud, wire fraud, visa fraud, and identity theft. Claimed 1.2 million in annual revenue to investors, when the actual revenue was just $60,000.
Jesus.
She printed 2 sets of accounting books and allegedly forged a major tech company's signature on a fake contract. So, it's not the first time this stuff happened. Well, I wanted to code it because there's a pattern from Forbes that if you mentioned on the list, there's like a 20% chance you are some fraud being illegal. A part of this pattern so far, like some document free to ride the founded the crypto exchange that was huge, raised billions, and in the scenes like another one, Caroline Ellison, Alameda Research, so that was another one. Right.
I mean, 60K at 1.2 mil is crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading through the document now.
Huge list of all of those companies, like they're all just defrauding investors for like millions or 100 millions. Which a lot should be aware that whole list is just becoming a list of
I'm just reading through all the scams here. This is pretty crazy. Like I'm all for a little bit of embellishment. Like we all hype ourselves up and exaggerate a little bit. Like we all praise our own achievements in the most beneficial way possible. But 60 grand and 1.2 mil is taking the mick a bit, guys. Like, why don't you say something like almost 100 grand? Like, it's not really almost 100 grand, but you know what I mean? You can you can kind of stretch 60 grand to almost 100 grand, you know? Like I could support that. Or if it was like 300k, you could be like almost 500,000 revenue. But you can't go 60k to 1.2 mil. That is a bit taking the mick, lads. That's just not good marketing. That's a scam.
There was actually a huge one, much worse last week. So this is actually a separate topic I don't have here, but I've read a case study on this that happened like 2 weeks ago. I was going to make a video on that actually because I thought it was so interesting. There was one with Delve. So it was like a compliance company for startups. So when you running like an enterprise startup, basically you need to get a bunch of like certifications for like security and compliance and all of that. That's supposed to cost like, 50 grand or something a pop, like a bunch of stuff, which is nothing at enterprise level. But they claim to have made AI that does it. And it was huge. So they raised 32 million for it at 300 million valuation, right? Promising that the AI, SOC 2, HIPAA and GDPR audits, they are going to do it. And they made the Forbes 30 under 30 as well for this, because like I said, 300 million valuation, right? Just 2 kids from college. But they recently found out, they launched an investigation. Couple of things happened, some files got leaked. They launched an investigation, and out of 494 reports that the AI issued, right, for compliance, 493 were identical. It was the same report. It was fake. It was all fake, the whole platform. They raised 32 million, right, from major investors, and the whole platform was fake. All of it.
Yeah. On one hand, I do
2
kind of
college
respect
kids
it.
scammed people for 32 million.
No, it's like on one hand, I do have to respect the shithousery a little bit. Like to scam at that scale, it's hustle. It is some hustle.
including fucking Y Combinator, right? Which is supposed to be like the best, one of the best startup funds for elite, for the best. How the fuck did they spend like 2 years there talking to all of the best tech people in the world with a fake platform? Like imagine the balls.
You got to respect it. Like I'm to have the balls.
The
like
guy
that is some
just
proper.
rolled in fucking Silicon Valley.
You've. On one hand, you've got to be like a massive sociopath to be able to get yourself in the headspace to bullshit on that degree. But on the other hand, I used to have a client who used to work in Silicon Valley at Facebook, like one of the higher ups at Facebook. Like I used to do M&A work and wanted to buy some businesses. I used to work for him, and I somehow signed him as a client when I knew fucking nothing. So it sounds a lot more impressive than it is, I think. Because if I sold to him when I was an idiot who knew virtually nothing, I can imagine these guys being able to do the same thing.
But at 32 million in funding, you would have thought they would have done some due diligence, right? They would have at least checked something.
you would think, but I mean, you know as much as anyone else. You know, like even if like you make the scale much lower, a lot of these like bullshit online gurus who sell business advice, you would assume people would research before they bought their courses or bought their consultations, etc. But people just don't. People don't buy off logic. People buy off emotion. So I'm assuming that an amazing pitch that just made them feel something. I'd love to watch a video of that pitch. I'm assuming it was a banger.
Yeah, maybe we can check it out later. But this one as well, 60 grand to 1.2 million. And nobody checked. So that's the thing. Nobody checked.
Nobody checks these things.
Right. Do you want to pick the next one?
I don't.
Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll. Got 10,000 years on my platform. Give me 5.
Huh?
Right. Do you want to pick the next topic?
Let's go. Let's go with the last one, the 4-day work week, because that's obviously very relevant in the UK, because this is the 2-week period of the year where you have back-to-back 4-day work weeks. So you got a 4-day weekend in the middle, and I just think it makes sense. Like, I've legitimately had the most productive 2 weeks I've had in gotta be 6 months, just because you're not getting that extra 1 day a week where you're not getting disturbed by like bullshit, where you get emails about things, like get trapped in long email exchanges that could be a 5-minute phone call. We need to. I know it makes sense to bring in 4-day work weeks.
First. So OpenAI published some work in a paper called Industrial Policy for the Intelligence Age. So OpenAI is proposing 4-day work week and robot tax for businesses, calling for an economic shift as the AI scales. So they're actively proposing 32-hour work weeks at full pay. That's the interesting, alongside a new tax on automated labor to offset lost payroll taxes. I wonder how that would look. So the paper argues that AI productivity gains must be shared through time, not just wages, raising immediate operational questions for lean teams and how to maintain output in a 4-day model. Because let's be honest, business is cashed out on all the changes. They're hiring less people, they're doing more, they're increasing profits, but employees don't get any of that back. They're just doing more.
First of all, on the 4-day work week thing, I've worked in corporate, you obviously have. Let's be honest, nobody does anything. Like, when I worked in my 9-to-5 job, when I did, I was the only person on the full market who did any work. Like, I was the only person who did remotely anything. Everyone else on the team, I realized when I handed my notice in at the end of the year, when I handed my 2 weeks notice in, I looked around and realized no work got done. I done the whole full work for a team for an entire year. So no one in corporate does remotely anything. So if you cut out 1 day a week, they'd be more inclined to work harder and those 32 hours that they're there. You're assuming people actually work 40 hours. No, a lot of the time people just sit around at their desk pretending to work 40 hours. So if you cut out some of the bullshit, they're more likely to be better during that specific 4-day period. And I think
I don't necessarily disagree with that. There's a lot of standing around. The question is, from experience, like people that will stand around on a 5-day week will also stand around and do fuck all on a 4-day week. So they don't necessarily gonna stop fucking around and not doing work. They'll just fuck around 1 day less.
But couldn't you
They'll
argue
still fuck around the other 4 days and probably
couldn't
not get
you
much work done.
Couldn't you argue though the fact they're not, like, they'll be happier, morale will be better because they're not having to work that 5th day, that increased morale and happiness and camaraderie will make them work extra on those 4 days? Like, I think that's a real possibility that could happen. So I remember even when I worked in corporate, after lunch on a Friday, people just sat around
very much depends on the
doing
person.
virtually nothing.
I think it just depends on the actual person you hire. It's more, I don't think it's just like, oh, this applies to everyone.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I think there are people who thrive on it. I've known people that work like shared roles, so they would work like part-time, but they will do full-time worth of work during like 3 days. So there are people who do that, right? And that's great. So for them, yeah, they should be offered maybe a better pay. Great. But that's not everyone. I also had people that loved working as much as they could and were super productive, and I had to kick them out of the office. I had to tell them, like, stop working, go home.
Kick them out.
Because they would just keep working because they liked what they were doing and they liked getting the results. Some people are wired like that, right? So it really much depends on the person, but his argument is sound that because of the AI and everything, most of these people get more work done. Therefore, why shouldn't they get, like, if you think that, let's say AI increased productivity by 30%, right? So you get that would mean you get 7 days of work done in 5 days. So in 4 days, you still should be able to get 5 or 6 days worth of work. But then again, from a business standpoint, it depends what you prioritize. Do you prioritize your business growth and business success, or do you prioritize just happiness, employee happiness?
Couldn't you argue if the employees are happier, the business grows because they'll work harder? Couldn't you make that argument as well?
It depends. Different people are motivated by different things as well, right?
Yeah,
So
obviously.
some people are motivated by maybe higher salary and more money, right? So if I could tell them, okay, just work more and business grows more, you get paid more. Some people be happily work 7 days a fucking week if they get paid extra.
But I feel like
some people are more motivated by, the right balance.
I feel like work more hours, make more money isn't. I don't want to say it's a full-on lie, but it's no, from my experience anyway, it's do better work, make more money, if you know what I mean. Especially in the current world that we live in now, like AI,
but ideally, in
all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely, but in an ideal world, you do both.
We're not 99% of human beings.
That's what Nvidia does. They all working fucking 16 hours a day, and they're all fucking millionaires, and they do great work.
99% of human beings can't be at their best for 60 hours a week and have 10 out of 10 work sessions for 60 hours in a week. Do you know what I mean? It's just not a realistic scenario.
So if you hire specifically, those, all the top 0.1% that are just fucking crazy, that's what I'm saying. It depends what you want to optimize in the business. Do you want to optimize for hyper growth, hyper results, or do you want to optimize for steady and chill workplace and just different people have different goals. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire, right?
I think what you're saying is very theoretical though, because in practice, you realistically can't hire that top 1% of people because one, most of them already have jobs. Two, a lot of those top 1% already have businesses. And three, actually finding them and then finding out they're actually that top 1% of the whole interview process takes such a long period of time.
It's hard.
So it's just not a real...
Similar. If you ever spoke to anyone from top 5, so I know Nigel, and if you look at the top companies that pay massive salaries and have stupid interview process, they're all like that, right? So I know in London from Goldman Sachs, a bit higher up, and okay, yeah, she used to get paid 250K, but she worked 7 days a week, 14-hour days every week, never take any days off, and they all work like that. There isn't a person there that literally doesn't work 100-hour plus weeks. It's just, that's the normal work. they all get paid a lot of money. That's the normal work week, right?
Again, that's
Most of them like burn out after 3-4 years, but
the
that's
exception.
it, right? That's what they do.
In this
and they only
specific
hire people
argument,
who can do that.
in this specific argument, one, you already mentioned the fact that they can only do that for like 3 years before they just crash and burn. You can only have that workload for so long. But also, I think that's in this argument, especially in like the B2B or the office workforce, that's the exception. The general, your average company isn't Goldman Sachs with X amount of people working 100 hours a week. That's not your usual. That's not the company that will be directly affected by something like a 4-day work week. If you know what I mean. But like the exception doesn't disprove the general rule.
But I'm just struggling to like on the surface, like it makes all logical sense. Like, okay, people can work less, achieve more.
Do you think it's the control freak factor as well?
Like when I work, you have to think from the point of view of the CEO, right? Let's say you manage a medium-sized business, so that's like medium-sized business is like 500 people, right? You manage a business of 500 people. That's making what's revenue for that? Let me do some quick math. If you've got 500 people, you gotta be making like at least like 300 per person. So you make like 150 million, right? You make like 150 million. And now you could choose to increase that to 200 million by doing nothing more, no more expenses, same expense. You could go from 150 to 200 and keep a 5-day work week, or you decide to cut it down.
I think that
do you just drop 50
I think you're wrong.
Do you just say, I don't want it?
I think you're totally wrong in what you're saying. I think in practice, cutting working hours doesn't necessarily decrease revenue. If those employees who are working 40 hours a week are suddenly working 32, you've already mentioned about how much time people waste now in offices. No one does anything. People pretend to look busy, yada, yada, yada. They pretend to do work. Like in my last 2 weeks of my office job, I just looked busy for 2 weeks and did precisely zero. So in those, work on that 1 day less. 1, it'll make people happier. 2, it'll make the work they're actually doing better because they've got more free time to enjoy after work. They're less stressed. There's less mentally taxing in the next day. I don't think it's as simple as work fewer hours, decrease revenue. I think in practice, a lot of the studies you'll see about companies trying this, they'll actually hold revenue, if not increase it slightly. Don't get us wrong, they might not make an extra 50 mil revenue, but I don't think the CEO will drop revenue by dropping the work week unless it's something like the running a warehouse where people have to work those hours to get all the deliveries made, etc. I'm talking specifically in office sort of thing.
Yeah, it depends on it very much depends on the hire, what people you hired. If you hired well, if you hired high performance who can stay focused, absolutely.
Yeah, I've just Googled.
Companies don't, right?
I've just Googled
performance.
I'm just doing some research and like a general, like two studies trialing the 4-day work week said the vast majority of companies in this trials who dropped down saw an average increase of 1.4 to 35% increased revenue per year than previously. And the high retention rates, to cite the reasons as because of the increased well-being and reduced stress reported by 78% of businesses, 92% of companies in this that participated in this trial continued with the 4-day work week after the trial, indicating sustained positive results. So, like in theory, working fewer hours. That
was an old study.
But in practice, it doesn't seem to. Like this study was done in 2024, so it's a year and a half old. But again, I do think in practice, you don't decrease your revenue anywhere
Yeah, it's
near
the COVID
as much as you
study.
thought. Like I work I work half the hours I did 2 years ago and I make more money. The quality of work matters way more than the amount. I do think it's a very dinosaur thought process. Like the guy who owned my 9 to 5 business was like your stereotypical like 45, 50-year-old dad who like says this generation doesn't work hard enough. You know, that type of guy. It's the stereotype you see on it. He was like one of them. And that type of person will never buy into this because it doesn't make sense in their mind. But in practice, especially with people who are like in their 20s, and it would just make their lives much better and be more willing to work, more willing to go to war for you. And especially if you're offering a 4-day work weekend, no one else in the industry does, the more likely to stay at your company. And if they're a good member of staff and a good employee, that extra loyalty and increased productivity and everything involved with it. I just think it's such a good opportunity. Like these past 2 weeks, I haven't felt better mentally in like 6+ months. Everything's just been perfect. The sun's been out. I've had extra time to go out because people aren't in office because of bank holidays. Like my Monday morning, all my meetings were cancelled because all my clients that's not even my normal client calls. All my clients were on bank holidays. I had no meetings. I got to like go out and enjoy life. I just think, after living it these 2 weeks, I just think everyone will be so much happier. I think it's such an easy win, but I think it's the archetypal CEO that I just mentioned, like the one I had my 9 to 5 job, who like just hate the youth and say they don't work hard enough.
Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? And I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and I'm just saying it's not as simple as just reduce. There's another big problem with this, which is just like restructuring the whole staffing structure, right?
Oh, yeah,
what about holidays and now like making
I
sure
don't
you've
know
got enough cover and
I
things
don't
can
know if
keep
it would
on
just
moving.
work.
So there's a lot more complexity to it.
The big with that I don't know how it 100% works. I don't know if everyone gets their own extra day off, or if, like, say Fridays the set, like everyone works Monday to Thursday, or if everyone has a set day off. You know what I mean? So if everyone works Monday to Thursday, has Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, or if some people have a Tuesday off, some people have a Wednesday off. You know, if you know what I
don't
mean?
think you can just like close the business for an extra day.
That's what I mean. So I'm assuming
so
it
like
would be the
somebody
second
will
one.
have to cover. So there will need to be a rotation of some sort for most businesses.
I just think it'll be such a. I think it'll be such an easy thing.
It's a lot easier for like small businesses. When you got like 20 people, it's easy, right? Especially on like if the business is based on delivery, where you don't actually interact with clients directly, it's easier, right?
I think my biggest ever client that I signed was about, I think it was like 48 employees. I never really worked bigger than that. So from all like the experience that with my clients' businesses, you know, I think it would all work for them perfectly, and some of them do.
Anyway, it's interesting. I mean, it's not a new topic, but it's interesting for OpenAI to be pushing for that. The interesting second topic
the
is
AI tax is a piss take.
the robot tax. So they want to tax AI. They want to tax AI. They're gonna tax Claude. You'll have to pay Joe. You'll have to pay taxes.
I'd be fuming. Honestly,
Claude.
I'd be fuming. Honestly,
how Claude works, you'll have to pay tax.
Mate, I'd go bankrupt. You know how much my Claude works for me?
Motherfuckers, first they tell all businesses to replace people. Do you see where this is going? So first, he's gonna tell all of the businesses to replace all of their people with AI, and then they're gonna tax the AI.
It's so fun. Like, what do you want? Like I use Claude. Like, I've got to be in like the top 10% of Claude users worldwide out of all. I use it in everything.
Claude's gonna be on payroll.
Claude, I'm not
gonna be on payroll.
The amount of work Claude does for me deserves some equity in my company. Like, that's all I'm saying. So if I've got to start paying tax for this, if I've got to start paying tax on it, I am fuming. Because it's in too deep. Claude has too much knowledge about what I do, and it's got too much. It does too much for everything. Like, I can't live without it. I refuse to pay tax on it, so I guess I'll just quit.
Let's go over to the next topic.
Which number?
I want to quickly talk about TikTok because there's actually 3 topics about TikTok this week.
Which number, bro?
There's 3, 17, and 18. No, it's 3, 17, and 19.
Oh my! It would have made sense to put them back to back.
TikTok is taking over the fucking world right now. It really is. People thought TikTok stopped by slowing down, but this is interesting. So TikTok Shop, a lot of people don't even know about TikTok Shop, but I've got a personal story to talk about on this. So TikTok Shop is projected to hit 23 billion in US e-com sales. So that's just US, and they're like almost global now. Up to 48% year-over-year increase, which would make it bigger than Target, Costco, Best Buy, and Kroger online. And it only been out for 2 years, year and a half.
Yeah, I think it's 2023. I think
conversion rates on TikTok Shop more than 4.7%, which is more than double on Instagram. TikTok is becoming the #1 video retailer in the world.
Fair play.
People buy shit on TikTok. I was so surprised. Even in Asia. I was chatting to.
I was gonna say my grandma and auntie buy cans of Coke from TikTok Shop because it's cheaper than Tesco. Like, it's legitimately impressive because somehow the TikTok's genius targeted ads know what their weekly shop is and has the exact order that they would buy at Tesco, and then they just undercut it on price because obviously they don't need to pay as many staff as Tesco pay for the rent, yada yada yada. So there's massively undercut it on price, and they bought like 48 cans of Coke for the price of like 80. So they were buzzing. So it's bear in mind, my grandma's 70 something, and my auntie's like 50. So it's a multi-generational thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen it, and I was shocked. I've noticed a few times in Asia here. Like I'm chatting to some girl or someone, right? And they're like, need to buy something, and they're just like, oh yeah, just ordered it on TikTok Shop. It's literally their Amazon here. They just go on TikTok Shop to buy stuff.
It's good. You can get some good deals on there,
Which is absolutely crazy. And I chatted to.
You get a lot of AliExpress stuff as well, but a lot of the main brands just undercut every retailer. Like, that's like the Coke story I just mentioned. Like, it's fair play. They found a good market. Yeah. Their algorithm is scarily genius, though. Like, they know your weekly shop. How do they know that? I think it's crazy, man.
And I talked to so there's another.
No, I'm gonna have a look at my TikTok shop. I'm gonna look at my TikTok shop and see what they suggest.
Conversion.
I'm saying if they know.
So it works both ways. So. So there's two sides to TikTok Shop, right? #1, you've got the creator program. So you can make videos and sell somebody else's stuff and promote it, and you get commission from the sale. And you've got the business side. So businesses can set up and sell stuff there, and they can find other people to promote it and sell it, which I think is the main growth. But I wanna talk about it. So they're going all in on that. Another topic is TikTok's made a massive shift.
There's an offer here
Into the B2B space
You know, fairly washing up
33% of
liquid.
US small businesses are now active on TikTok Shop.
But I'm gonna start buying on this. You know, fairly washing
You
up
did
liquid. You
washing up
can buy.
liquid?
You can buy 10 extra large
Yeah.
bottles for £5. I think one costs like $2.50 in a normal shop. I'm actually gonna buy this. A box of 10 for £5. That's a ridiculous deal. What the fuck? What's this? 32 bottles of
Yeah,
Lucasade
they
Sport
cook
for
you up,
15
so it's
quid.
like a tripwire, so you can only you can only get like discount for like the first order. So you buy that, you pay for the delivery, but then you buy other stuff at full price. So they hook you up with that. But
I'm just gonna buy. You know what I'm
33%
gonna
of
do?
US small businesses are now active on TikTok.
Good for
A
them.
lot of people go crazy on TikTok, like restaurants. There's literally everything there, and the main thing is they're now optimizing. So they started optimizing last year. We talked about it for search. So it's no longer just dance videos and viral stuff. TikTok is now building like YouTube. They're optimizing the algorithm for search. So you use it like a search engine. So when you look for restaurants, you look for products, you go on TikTok, you put in you start typing, and you actually find those businesses and those products on there, right? That's how they're able to scale it so much, which is crazy. They're trying to fight YouTube because YouTube was like that, right? YouTube is the second biggest search engine after Google, and now TikTok is kind of moving into that space. So I think it's a massive opportunity for a lot of businesses if they're not utilizing it now with the search being baked into it. Because in the past, like 2-3 years ago, if somebody told me like, oh, I need to go on TikTok to advertise my business, I'm like, mate, you own a carpet cleaning business in Manchester. Why the fuck do you care about someone from the States looking at your video? Because that search portion wasn't like optimized. But now, if TikTok sees that you're looking at stuff locally and they know where you are, they can now suggest that video to you locally.
That's crazy. TikTok shop, fair play.
What do you think, Joe?
I'm very much enjoying my little TikTok shop doom scroll. I think TikTok for local businesses especially because you can add your location to all your
I
posts.
know a guy
I think
who's
it's
making like TikTok shop.
nice.
Oh yeah. So the other thing I just wanted to mention, I had a chat with a business owner from here. So she owns a beauty brand. They make like body scrubs, lotions, whatever, and they sell exclusively on TikTok Shop. So that type of brand is selling. They just hire. They've got like 3-4 influencers. They just pay them full time to crank out videos every day, and the entire business they're selling. What did she say? And they're selling like 20,000 units. They're selling fucking 20,000 body scrubs a month on TikTok Shop.
Cool. I know the one person I know runs a pre-workout company, and he just goes live on TikTok Live and just shifts like 10 to 20 pre-workouts just every live. He goes live every day and will always sell at least 10. And he just goes live for like an hour. It's just a side hustle alongside his normal job. Like he just goes live during his
Yeah, you don't have
workout.
to
And
even
just
be big for that.
no, check. I know what was it? What was the company? It was on Black
It's
Friday.
growing absolutely huge.
It was on Black Friday. They just went live on TikTok Live for like 12 hours during the night, and they just shifted. Like I think they made something ridiculous, like 200 grand in selling just like 10 quid t-shirts on live for like 10 hours. Like they turned over 200 grand just because we're live for that long. People kept buying. Ridiculous, man. Fair play. I do think like the whole I think it's essential if you're
Another
trying
cool
to.
thing from TikTok. This is the last one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Another cool thing from TikTok. TikTok has just signed a partnership with Cameo. You know Cameo?
Yeah.
The video
The thing
platform
Nigel,
where you can get
the
like
thing,
influencers, celebrities.
the thing Nigel Farage used to be on.
You can pay them to like make a video for you. Yeah.
You know what? Because you mentioned Cameo, we now need to watch the Nigel Farage cameos because they're just so funny. Nigel Farage cameo where he used to just go
So you want
ooh,
to pull one
up
up?
the rat. I think we should just put on Nigel Farage cameos. Where is it? You know,
So while
you talk.
finding
Yeah,
that,
I'll get
I'm
them
gonna
out.
just go through this. So they just struck a they just signed a partnership with Cameo, allowing creators to sell personalized shoutouts directly from the TikTok app. I don't think it's active in Europe yet. It's probably US only or about to roll out. But integration removes the friction of driving followers to a third-party link, letting users request a purchase video via new customized call to action button. So that's gonna be massive for some people, for like the larger influencers. Oh my god, people gonna get rich as fuck on this.
You ready? You ready?
So Cameo reported its strongest leg yet. So this is interesting. Yeah.
The skippiest of them all. It's you, yes, it's you.
Right, do you want to play that?
A great
We've got
day.
Nigel
I've got to tell you
Farage.
that Big Chungus sends his regards.
Attention, all sussy gamers. What did you do with Big Chungus? We know you're the sus imposter, and I saw you vent in electrical. Crisis in Plotland. Big Chungus has launched a military coup, and only you can stop him. Sign up to NordVPN. Sigma spider climbed up the skibbity spout, and that spider is you. Big Chungus, congratulations for being the top G skibbity alpha male. Happy birthday, huge anus.
That's not his Cameo though, is it?
Be so talented.
Yeah, it is.
Doing cartwheels, but I don't care. Now, it's a bit early in the day.
That's just
so all I've
TikTok,
got
that's not
actually
Cameo.
is coffee, but I
Some
hope
of it has
you
got to
enjoy
be AI
the
though, is
pints
it?
with the lads
No,
tonight.
it's all Cameo.
Up the rah.
Isn't it?
So all I've got
Yeah.
actually is coffee, but I hope you enjoy a few pints with the lads tonight. Up the rah.
Up the ra, Nigel. I mean, I know that you said sorry.
He did these on Cameo and he ended up on the news being asked about saying up the bar. How much did Nigel Farage make on Cameo? He was on Cameo for like. he must have made a fortune from Cameo. How much did Nigel Farage make from Cameo?
So yeah, TikTok's not messing around. They're integrating that.
Look how much he made from Cameo. 180 grand from Cameo just doing bullshit like that.
Jesus.
That's so funny. He just started going like up the round Cameo. You know how mad that is? People just paid him to like say up the IRA and stuff. He made 200 grand from that bullshit. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. That's the UK political system for you. Fucking hell, man. So yeah, that's Cameo.
So yeah, TikTok is going crazy. They're doing a lot of things right from the business perspective. Yeah, people need to stop sleeping on it. Maybe we should be more on TikTok. Fuck LinkedIn. Let's go on TikTok, Joe. Maybe you should do a challenge. You think, try it. Making your account, mate. Making your account for your business. Put like 20 videos in. See if you can close a client on TikTok.
So you realise my normal ICP is like a 55-year-old man running an energy consultancy. They don't scroll TikTok, bro.
Well, you just said everybody's on there now.
Yeah, women.
Maybe
Like
he's
50
gonna be up there ordering fucking fairy liquid and a can of Coke, and
Yeah,
he's like, Joe's gonna pop up, and
bro. You mean, bro? I will ask all of my clients if they have TikTok on their phone, and I will get back to you by next week, okay? Because I am 100% certain none of them do.
put some of the terms in the search. Not now, but you've got the search bar, you've got the topics. See if there's something about energy or CEO branding or whatever. I'm sure there is some stuff.
How does energy service firms get customers?
Let's
They're all about trades. So, like, you put energy and you get electricians, basically. Yeah, they're all. You put in energy, you get electrician, you get sparkies, you get all that sort of stuff. So people selling solar panels. Yeah, so you get none of the B2B side of energy. It's legitimately all trades. Which makes sense.
maybe
Obviously,
this
tradesmen
party
are
will tell its boss about you.
Which makes sense, doesn't it? Because, like, obviously, tradesmen are local businesses. You can put your location in the search bar. Someone searches up electrician, I don't know, electrician Nottingham. And if you come one of the top search people, and you're going to get some customers, aren't you?
Right. Got a topic?
Sorry?
Would you like to pick a topic?
I don't care. I'll pick one. Let me just open the app back up. God, all of it's tech. We're gonna have something more interesting.
There's
What the fuck is this? Well, Dell cut 11,000 jobs. I'm assuming they just replaced people with AI. I'm assuming. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they replaced 11,000
Dell just
people
Dell just replaced 11,000 people with AI. Fucking hell.
with
Brutal.
AI.
That's brutal.
Yeah, so they'll cut down 11,000 employees.
That's brutal, isn't it? Jesus.
And its third consecutive year, AI server revenue grew 350% year over year. And its AI backlog hit 43 billion. So the total headcount in that time dropped from 133,000 people to 97. So overall, they cut down 36,000 jobs. So it's
is
a pretty
real.
good case study that AI pays the bills apparently, and humans
You know,
pay
I
the
think we
price.
should make.
It's happening.
I think we should make a rule. This is what we were talking about tax and AI earlier. We should make it that if you replace over 10,000 of your staff with AI, you then have to pay a lot of AI tax. I think that's the only fair way. I think if your company with over we need to make the rule where if your company with
Well,
over a
that's
certain
what
amount of
OpenAI
employees,
was pushing, right?
but I shouldn't be taxed using AI because I'm some random dickhead. But a company as big as Dell, them getting rid of 10,000 jobs, they should be taxed like crazy for their AI use. We need to stick it to the big guys. We need to, Make it easier for people like me and stick it to these bigger guys. Because I don't like working with big companies. It takes 10 hours to get anything done.
Yeah, I think it's for I don't know how they would structure it, but it's a serious concern because whilst
No, of course it is.
on the upside they say like, oh, you know, companies will just replace everyone with AI. So there's a serious concern that most people never think about, right? So you replace most of your company with AI, cool. You make record profits. But who the fuck the taxes? Who is paying the taxes? AI is
No, I
not going
know.
to pay taxes.
And if AI takes all our jobs, who's going to then buy the products or
Billionaires
the
not going to pay
services?
taxes. The companies, those huge companies, they barely pay any taxes.
No, but you know what I mean? And also it's the fact that if AI takes everyone's jobs, who's going to have the money to buy products and services? No one. What'll happen? It'll be like the Industrial Revolution, where in the after the Industrial Revolution, there were jobs that people couldn't even imagine existed beforehand. So I imagine in a decade's time there'll be a million jobs that we couldn't even dream of today. It'll just pop up somehow. That's what happened 100 years ago. Well, yeah, over 100 years ago when the Industrial Revolution was happening. History has a funny way of repeating itself. There'll be a million jobs that we have no idea about that'll somehow pop up. Or we all die.
I mean, there's lots of new jobs already, mostly in tech.
Mate, I'm not saying the piss. You know how good I am at
Whatever.
AI. I could easily sell like AI consultancy. You know, I'm like, but how good some of my workflows are. Like I no longer pay a Clay subscription. I don't buy Clay credits anymore because I've created a Claude workflow that's legitimately better. Like I am actually quite good at this stuff. So when AI eventually does kill my business, I'll just become an AI consultant. I've got real world experience and proof of concept. Or what was it? What was the job that you said was like, you know, the guy who manages the
Everyone
prompts?
will become an AI consultant.
The guy who manages the prompts, I can do that because I manage like 8 workflows simultaneously.
Prompt manager.
Yeah, I'll become a prompt manager because if I show you my Claude now, I've got like 12 workflows running simultaneously and I manage them all while running the business on top of that. I'll just be a prompt guy. I'll create and manage workflows. I am becoming too reliant on AI.
You can't
though.
be a manager because there will be nothing to manage. You can be a director.
It is impressive. I do think it's quite funny how
funny time.
How like
I want to
a lot of the okay. No, move on. Have you frozen?
Sorry, what about Claude? You love Claude? You want to get
No,
married?
I was just saying, did you not see the email they sent out the other day where they gave everyone like free extra like monetary credits where they can go over your usage? Did you see that? Where they sent it to every person with like a paid Claude subscription. You got like a free £15 extra usage. So when you hit your limit,
there was a bit of that, yeah.
They did that. I think it's so fun because they're doing that to get people addicted to using extra Claude. So when people have used up the £15, they'll then be so used to having it whenever they want to make more money that way.
I signed up for the max subscription last week because I kept running out of stuff and it was annoying. I could have just like wait, but that's it. People pay for impatience. I don't want to wait. I just want to get my shit done, right? And if I want to knock out 20 hours of work in 6 hours, I want to do that now. I don't want to do it in 1 hour, wait 4 hours, 1 hour, wait 4 hours, 1 hour, wait 4 hours, right? I just want to do it. Anyway, let's speak let's go to the next one. I wanna briefly mention, this is super interesting. Some people will suffer for that, influencers mainly. Instagram users can now wipe out their algorithm.
Oh yeah, that's
So
crazy.
Instagram has formally rolled out its reset suggested content feature globally, allowing users to wipe out the entire algorithmic history with a single tap. So that was the problem. Like before, you just couldn't escape. Once you liked a couple of videos, you would be served that content forever. It was like the old school YouTube subscriptions, right? Like in 10 years ago, if you subbed to a channel on YouTube, you would always see the videos. Instagram was the video, you see those videos. So will this put a bit more fear into influencers on Instagram? Because if you piss off your audience, they can reset and fuck off and never see you again.
It is pretty crazy. Like I do kind of like it. It's better for the user. Like I haven't used Instagram for business in God, like years, like 3 years. It doesn't affect me in any way. But if in my business, when I had an Instagram, I would be this would annoy me. But it's good for the user. Actually, I'm thinking about this deeper now.
Instagram now. It's so weird with like stories and everything. I see how it works for a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I personally, it's getting so complicated. Instagram,
the stories are the story,
like
Instagram
optimize
stories.
it, and you have like the different feeds, 2 different feeds, different types of stuff. You've got the stories, all of that bullshit. It's like, it's really good for some businesses actually, because you can add like direct links from the video. You can one click into a application form, into a business site, into booking. Which makes it really easy. The bots on Instagram amazing, where you can just like comment whatever and it sends you a message and sends you all the information and stuff. That's like the standard on IG. So it's got some really, really cool business features, but at the same time, it's like more and more complicated. I wonder if that opens up a lot of opportunity for people who are like, the growth consultants on IG.
Instagram's very much
now to actually stand out and grow on IG.
Obviously, I obviously work in like social media marketing, customer acquisition by social media, that sort of stuff. It's not on Instagram, but I do have some mates who like run Instagram specific businesses, and a lot of the time they always say, if you're starting an account from fresh on Instagram, it's extremely hard. You've either got to have enough budget to put money into paid advertisements and use the call to action in those paid ads to either get followers or get lead magnet downloads, or you need to have extremely high quality content. Like I'm talking professionally shot. TikTok, you just use your phone. TikTok can be very much like talking to a mate on FaceTime, but Instagram's there has to be very much like professionally produced, high quality stuff, and you've got to be so consistent. So if you're starting from scratch, it's very expensive to start on Instagram. You need to have a good, solid, like I'd say $5,000 at least to get a solid start on Instagram before you can rely on organic content. But when you do have Instagram set up and a lot of followers and a good landing page, all that sort of stuff, your stories convert extremely well because your stories consistently show up in your followers' feeds, unlike content. Like Instagram stories are where you make the money. But to get to the point where you can make money through Instagram stories, you're going to have to, if you know how to do it yourself, you're going to have to spend at least $5,000 on high quality content and paid advertisement. If you don't know how to do it yourself, you have to spend that money on the content, on the ads, and then on someone to run it for you. Like starting from scratch is incredibly difficult without some sort of...
Yeah, that's like a lot more complex to set everything up. It's not like, TikTok, you just whatever, record stuff.
I know someone actually who had who'd been doing YouTube. Someone had like a good back catalogue of YouTube content from like the past year. They were able to repurpose that to Instagram, still be quite high quality and get success that way. But still, you start a high quality YouTube to do that. The barrier entry on Instagram is really high. inexpensive. It's not like TikTok where the barrier entry is really low, where you can pick it up if you just post 100 times, you'll figure out what works. Instagram, you need a skill set, you need money to burn.
And they've got like TikTok algorithm is just crazy. Like if you can open a new account, make one good video, and get whatever 50,000 views, 100,000 views on one video from nothing, from zero. On IG, you can't get that from a dead account.
No, and Instagram has one of the worst like For You pages because every two scrolls is an ad. That's why paid ads are like essential on a newer LinkedIn account. Like they are essential.
But it's really interesting. I wonder what they thought behind it is. I wonder what the strategy behind it is to give that to people. Maybe they're trying to like resurface some of the. Maybe they're trying to make it easier for some of the newer accounts actually to get more views by focusing on the algorithm search rather than just whoever you liked before.
I like it, to be honest. Like there will be most likely there'll be a good few content styles that I imagine
it's a good feature for the users. It's absolutely a good feature.
No, I think it's cool. I think it's interesting.
It's a really good feature for people in marketing as well. It's a really great feature for marketing as well, because if you're doing like research on a topic, on a niche, you can just like one-click reset, see what's trending in that niche, one-click reset, see what's trending, which is super useful, because before you would have to make a new account. Literally.
Yeah, but you have to have a burner.
Each time you would have to open a new account.
You make a burner.
Do like proper research.
You make a burner just for that niche. So every time you open that one specific burner account, you have all the info. And that's an interesting topic.
Very quickly, let's talk about this. SpaceX.
What number?
Yeah. SpaceX currently filed IPO paperwork. That's number one. With the SEC on 1st of April, targeting a $1.75 trillion valuation and aiming to raise $75 billion. So they're actually getting like stock buybacks and stuff on that. So it's not as simple as it sounds, but the idea is the valuation, nearly 3 times over the largest US IPO ever. And they're discussing potentially doing that in the next few months. So if this happens and it performs as well as they predict, Elon Musk might become the world's first trillionaire.
Jesus.
Which is crazy, because we only had a company had the first trillion, 2024? It was Apple. Apple was the first to hit 1 trillion into 24.
Jesus. A human being shouldn't be a trillionaire. A human being should not be a trillionaire.
Maybe earlier than that. It wasn't that long ago, but but it is interesting. So if this would also make SpaceX bigger than any other company on the planet except for Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft now as well. So they will instantly go into top 4. And they are nowhere close. Yeah.
You know more about this than me.
It's interesting. I believe it's also, they said it's more than the entire GDP of Canada or something.
Jesus.
One company. But yeah, the interesting thing about it, like most companies are jumping like very quickly. Most companies are like growing super fast. They're raising, they're going to IPO, but SpaceX actually been private for 24 years. It's an old company, right? It's been a private company for 24 years, and they mainly been keeping up and managing to grow. Probably about some shady deals. There's been some stuff in the background, but they just kept winning like government contracts, right? From NASA, from US military. That's how they funded the whole company and its growth. And now they basically just want to fuck over the competition completely and with that move, because I think now Musk just doesn't give a shit anymore, right? It's like
anymore.
he's reached the point where he just doesn't give any fucks about anything. It's just an ego thing at this point, literally, for him.
Do you think he's bored and he just wants to have some fun?
Yeah. It's literally like, oh, let me just raise 75 billion.
I wonder what it's like being able to be that bored and just be able to do anything. I wonder what that feeling is like. Where you can just, if you want to just win an election for Donald Trump, you can do it. If you want to raise 77 billion or whatever you just said, you can do it. If you want to just buy Twitter, you can just do it. Like, I wonder what in that feeling is like when you just do whatever, whenever.
He could technically just buy a country at this point.
That would be pretty sick. That you know that tier list did last week? Buying a country would get you like tier 1 gangster straight away. Like it would.
Would you move? Would you move in? Would you move to Elon Musk's country?
What's the tax rate? If tax is like 10%, yeah, I'll jump to Elon Musk's country straight away. I don't think he's gonna tax AI, so I'm straight in there.
Maybe that's what
Sure,
he's
John.
doing. Maybe that's why he wants SpaceX to take over the market. He's gonna launch people into fucking space. He's gonna build his own country on the moon. He's gonna build his own city in space. Maybe that's the plan. That's the end game we're not seeing.
Maybe it is. You know what? If he builds a city in space, that does get your tier 1 gangster factor straight away as well. Like, it does seem he has some. Maybe that's his goal. He wants to become a tier 1 gangster because he isn't quite tier 1 yet. So maybe that's his goal to be S tier gangster. That is his goal. He wants to be on the tier list.
Speaking of a lot of money, here's an interesting one. Topic number 11. OpenAI is aiming for an IPO as well, but the CFO is against it. OpenAI CFO Sarah Fryer has warned internally that the company could burn over 200 billion before even reaching profitability.
Jesus.
So she's estimating that the company needs to spend at least 200 more billion before they could make any money. Because OpenAI is not making any money. They're losing money. So they could lose another 200 billion before they make any money. And she's saying they're not ready for an IPO because they're not even close to making any money. However, he's pushing for listing later this year anyway. So Sam Altman has now blocked his own CFO from all high-level investor meetings. And she no longer reports directly to him.
I saw a lot of people talking about this on LinkedIn.
That's a fun game where you're telling your CFO to fuck off. because you're raising concerns that the company is a flop and it can't make any money, and investors don't want to hear about that. So his might be on the next list of scams. Maybe he'll be the next scam later this year or next year.
I
Maybe
do
he's
think
gonna
this one's
pull off a 1
interesting.
trillion
Though.
scam.
I think this one's really, particularly I've been seeing a lot of content on this in the past week. I think to just beg the question. Obviously, a lot of these AI companies in the past few years got loads of funding from loads of investors. Did they? It's one of two things. Did they overestimate how many people would be interested in paying for AI? And two, did they overestimate how many people are even willing to use it, or how many people are willing to change their day-to-day process to use it?
In my opinion, it's a combination of two factors. So number one, I think they overestimated how much people are willing to pay for it and use it, and how quickly to adapt it, right? And they underestimated the free users and how much shit people are going to make without ever paying for anything.
I think a lot of them, what I think as
They
well, and a lot
closed
of
down,
them,
so it's not in the dog, but I'm not sure if you. Right, so this is just a part of the story. Like OpenAI is in serious shit. Close this.
I also think a lot of them potentially messed
So
up.
this has been in the news
I was
2 weeks
talking.
ago.
I think a lot of people,
Another one.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of them
Sorry,
potentially
go on.
messed up from a marketing standpoint as well, being going down the generalist route. I think if some of these companies chose like a specific industry or niche and went enterprise, they could have got some huge multi-million-dollar contract instead of trying to sell volume with the freemium model, like selling free to go paid. I think some of them could have made a lot of money.
Oh yeah, that's what
going
Google
the
been doing,
enterprise route.
right? Google from day one. Google from day one just integrated it into all the business suite and enterprise. They didn't
That
fuck
makes
around with,
sense.
like, they didn't promote Gemini to make, pictures for people. Started selling it to businesses from day one.
And do you know what? Like, Matt, I know I've mentioned Matt Auntie already in this show. Do you know what she uses AI for? She uses it just to make some weird images on ChatGPT and Grok occasionally. She runs a shop, so she could use AI to automate payroll, to automate shift scheduling, automate sick pay, all that sort of stuff. But does she do that? No, she uses it to make pictures. And so AI on that front, like a lot of the AI companies have overestimated that just because people can do something doesn't mean they will.
Yeah.
Like people, again, like it goes back earlier, people don't buy on logic, they buy on emotion. That's why she uses AI to make pictures rather than automating her payroll.
Yeah. So here's
should
the
tell her that,
interesting
really.
bit, right? So, not sure if you. So this happened 2 weeks ago. OpenAI has officially closed down Sora. So Sora was the big video generation, right? Close it down, shut down, go. So they closed it down because they couldn't afford it. It was losing so much money, they couldn't afford it. So they say it's been estimated that it cost them about £1, so $1.30 is about £1, to generate a 10-second video.
Jesus.
And at its peak, it's been estimated that they were losing $15 million per day just by having it open, because people are just making those stupid AI videos for memes. It's been costing them $15 million per day.
Some of the AI videos are pretty funny.
So they say it's been maintaining the service was estimated to cost over 5 billion per year. So they were losing 5 billion per year to run it.
It just
But
shows
it's
that
only
getting
generated. But so it's been costing them 5 billion, but it only generated 2 million in revenue.
the biggest thing it shows is that you can have use, like, we always say, like, social media content, you can get 10,000 views and 0 buyers, but have 100 views and 5 buyers. It just shows that you can have as many users as possible, but that doesn't mean you're making any money.
You could be losing a lot of money. So yeah,
Oh,
5 billion.
mental.
So if people don't know how much a billion is, it's 5,000 million.
People know what a billion is, Alex. Fuck's sake. Everyone knows what a billion is.
5,000 versus 2. 5,000 in costs, 2 in revenue. Revenue, not even profit. So they probably made like 500 grand on it, and they spent 5 billion. If this was any other business, it would have been dead long before that.
So do you think the days of AI, we spoke about this in the previous show, I think. Do you think the days of, like, investors investing a fortune in AI are most likely over because of all of this, where very few AI companies are making a profit?
I don't know. There's still that FOMO. It's still the fear of missing out when they're like, well, fuck, I can give these guys some money and win big. And, if not, I can lose out. It's all kind of like, a lot of it is fucking virtual money anyway. It's made up money. It's not real money. Because they all like pumping money into each other and growing their funding and growing their costs. It's all like made up money anyway. It's not real. Doesn't exist. And, if it goes to shit, you just wipe it off of your tax bill for the next 10 years as a loss. So it's concerning. And I talked about it for a while now. I said, like, how much longer they're going to just keep pumping the money into it until it goes to shit. Right, Google can do it because Google has an entire business infrastructure already in that space, and AI is just a bonus. Like, people already pay Google,
and they've got all the money in the
Google
world
already
anyway.
makes hundreds of millions or billions, whatever, billions definitely. Google already makes billions from businesses, from enterprise. They just flip the switch and say, now we're going to charge you for AI, and they made more billions. They don't talk to the free users. And they've got the entire infrastructure to utilize it, right? Even if it's shit and people don't like it, they're like, okay, it does something in Google Docs, whatever, right? So that's the thing. Like, the only reason I was using Gemini is because it was included with my Google Workspace, which I already was paying for. I had to pay a bit extra to use it, but I couldn't opt out, so I had to pay for it. So, like, they didn't really give me a choice, right?
They had you by the balls.
I mean, I could downgrade, but then I would have to downgrade the storage and everything else. So I would have to move storage providers, and it's like, might just as well give them an extra 15 quid a month, whatever. And they're probably making money on me because I don't use it that much. So Google can do that, right? Anthropic can do that because also they fuck the limits on Claude so much, and they're charging and they advertising Claude to developers, right? Developers
Did you
spending big
see?
fucking money.
Did you see the viral LinkedIn post today or yesterday, where there was some tech CEO saying that he paid Claude his company paid Claude like £111,000 last month for all of their like enterprise use. And he was like, this is the proudest moment of my life.
Probably.
That everyone in my organization is using Claude. And all the comments just call him a massive virgin for saying this is how we judge success of businesses now, how much you spend on Claude. That was
How many
funny.
people did he fire?
I wish actually that's a good question. I imagine at least a couple. I think we
So
covered.
it will be interesting where that story goes. I think it's interesting to see where that's going and everything.
It blows my mind they don't have better either PR agency or PR manager. They could have spun this so easily, but they just didn't.
Yeah.
Like this news went viral. This news went like seriously viral in the B2B space. So
That's what
how
he's
does a
right.
company
So you see now what he's doing. He's now posting. So he's going through all of that shit. Like the company's burning money, the CFO is been banned, like all of this drama. So now he probably AI generated the fucking 4 work week document, and he's pushing people towards that because like, okay, stop looking at my drama. Look, I'm gonna give you 4-hour work week, 4-day work week. That's his PR strategy. Is just gonna distract people with something else.
I don't understand how a company that big got so much funding, yada yada yada. How they don't have a better PR team involved? Maybe because the tech people, I don't know, but that could have been so easily spun. Right, I think we've covered pretty much every topic. I think everyone worth talking about. It's been a good show. Is there any other topic you really wanted to speak about? But I've just looked through the others. I think we've spoke about the best ones.
I wanna. Okay, last one. This is another very interesting case study. Rec Room, a social gaming platform with over 150 million players.
Wow, okay.
And a 3.5 billion peak valuation in 2021, number 12, is shutting down in the next 2 months. So they raised 294 million from Sequoia and Index Ventures, but never found profitability.
Wow.
So this is another one of those, because people go crazy on like LinkedIn and social media about funding and, oh, this company's raised 30 million, this one's raised 300 million, for my company's worth 3 billion valuation. But these companies aren't making any money. They're losing money. So I just find it's interesting that how the fuck do you get 150 million people, users, and you don't make any money?
Well, ask all the AI companies we talk about every week. They're in the same position. It seems to be very.
How do you get 150 million and not make money? Not make any profit?
Because most likely they were going with the monetize later strategy, like get as many users as possible now and we'll monetize later. But they probably didn't have a sound monetization strategy at the start.
Crazy,
Do you know what monetization
crazy.
strategies Do you know what monetization strategies they tried at the end or tried along the way that didn't work? Do you know that or not?
So the main thing you didn't they had like user created content sales and its own content. So apparently the big problem is they only kept like 30% cut from the users, and it just wasn't enough. It wasn't profitable after the costs of running everything. We talked about it, right? Like social media and video and stuff, it's not cheap to run.
No.
We're like all the processing and everything is just, it's not cheap. Like YouTube only exists because Google owns it. And they've got like a really good model, but other platforms like that, if you're not making like big bucks, if you're not charging people, it's a dream, right? It's a dream to run like a big gaming platform and stuff, and yeah. It seems a big amount of users is not enough. I just gonna rapid fire in like 5 minutes, couple of those other topics.
Okay.
Waymo, which is the robotaxi service, right? Autonomous robotaxi service. They're already completing 500,000 paid rides per week across 10 US cities, and have raised 16 billion at 126 billion evaluation. But they've got a problem.
And that is?
One of the taxis hit a child. Robotaxi hit a child.
I shouldn't be laughing at that, but that is pretty funny, you know.
I don't think they're dead or anything, but they caused an accident, and it's a problem, right? Because who takes the responsibility? There's no driver.
I shouldn't laugh at this,
And
you know.
at that scale, they got a bit of a VR crisis now, because people were happy about it until somebody gets hurt, right? And you know how quickly news spread and how much it can like damage the company's reputation. One accident, that.
Jesus.
They could be losing billions instantly.
They could lose that company over a scandal like this. Like that's
so there's a bunch of regulatory overview around that.
This
so
the worst case scenario.
Business literally depends. The entire business narrative depends that on the narrative, right? The whole thing they're selling is that their business, their cars are safer than humans, because it's AI and it's quicker to react and it doesn't make mistakes until it does.
Jesus. Like, could it have, is there anything like, could this have went any worse? Like, is there a worst case scenario for this business than hitting a child with the car? Like, what would be worse? I mean, obviously hitting 2 kids would be worse than hitting 1. But
yeah, hitting more children.
You know, like, obviously that would be worse, but is there obviously hitting kids is the worst category that could happen to a business like this? But what would be the worst? Is there anything worse? I don't think so. Maybe hitting a family, but that's I don't know. Either way, this is bad.
Rapid fire. Yeah, hitting a family. Hitting Right, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but I was going to say hitting maybe someone of color because they will say it's a racist taxi.
Jesus. Well, on that note,
Imagine it hit a black kid.
Fucking hell.
Oh, right. Rapid fire. 2 more topics, 2 minutes each. Another one, Nota AI news startup backed by Microsoft, shut down all of its 11 of its local news sites after investigators from 29 outlets and 53 individual journalists. So they used AI to rewrite stolen articles and then publish them under the name of a reporter who didn't exist, who appears not to have been them. So startup that promised to save local journalism used AI to steal work from other journalists that it claimed to support. People are getting caught, which is good. Another fucking scam. And the last one, I didn't really want to end on it, but Oracle cut down 30,000 jobs, sending people an email at 6 a.m. on the day to tell them that they're not working there anymore.
Yeah, that's bad crack, isn't it? Well, on that depressing note, it's been fun.
And on that beautiful note, what a way to end. Scams, 30,000 people got jobless at 6 a.m. and robotaxis hitting children. We gotta do maybe a good news week next week. What do you think, Joe? Next week only good news?
Ideally, I think that'll be a good idea. Because I'll be in a really happy mood for like this week and last week. And then, kids getting hit by AI cars have kind of ruined the mood a bit, guys. Anyway, it's been
2 p.m.
fun.
UK time, guys. Every Wednesday. Thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you all next week for more hot news, hot takes, and all things business. Bye!